Hi, everybody. You are on Ideas Matter YouTube channel. Bobby, welcoming you on board once more. Today, it will be a little shocking, but that is the truth. We're going to talk about the crime or the crimes of the black man. And when you look at it exactly, you see that the black man has committed no crime against anybody, but he has committed crimes against himself. Crimes against himself. We have brains, but we don't use them. Or maybe we use them and use them in a very bad way, in a negative way. Sometimes it's very shocking when you see the way black people suffer all around the world. And we ask the question, what is the problem? When you listen to James David Manning, he owns a church at the Allah Ministry, Allah World Ministries, and he's also the author of the book, The Oblation Hour. He asks the question, why is it that black people have everything that it takes for them, especially the Africans, to develop, to live together? But you see, when you look at all black communities, you will see it yourself. And so that's the crime of the black man. How does it benefit a man living in a community, in his own community? People are suffering. He gets millions and millions of dollars, millions of dollars to buy planes, to buy private jets when his people are suffering. As of now, I think Akon is the only African American so far as this moment who has decided to use his wealth. He's made his wealth out of himself. He made it singing, but he's investing it in Africa. Free, giving light, providing light to the people of that continent. What about the other African Americans? He has time and again, told you, invest in Africa. And it's very unfortunate when you see some African Americans that we keep shooting ourselves in the leg. Keep shooting ourselves in the leg, saying that Africa is not where we originated. I don't know whether we know our history. Some even insulting some Africans that they want to claim, they want them to accept that their roots are from Africa. When you say this in the open, I think that at some point, even the other races, when they hear you talk, they even laugh at you. They laugh at you. What do you think you are doing for yourself? Can you claim your origin? Seeing people coming from a lot of the people in Africa, they look like you. And I want to tell the black people, especially black Americans, know this. Once the image of Africa begins to improve, once Africa can develop and become as a developed country as well, you will start to envy Africa the same. You want to go there. You want to claim to be an African. I don't know how somebody in his right senses will say that he has nothing to do with Africa. His origin has nothing to do with Africa. That's how you are. That's how we are. We have forgotten about our culture. You allow yourself to be acculturated. You allow yourself, you defending the oppressor. I want to tell you this. Nothing pains a man. Nothing pains a man. Pains me especially. Seeing yourself trying to defend your brothers, your sisters, speaking up for your own people. And you see your brother defending the oppressor against you. Fighting for the oppressor. Fighting you for the oppressor. I mean, what do we think we are doing? James David Manning said, you can train a black man. Train him to become a physicist. Train him to become whatever. A scientist, whatever. He still doesn't understand the world. The black man. He doesn't understand the world. We teach our children, forgive and forget. That Bible stuff they gave to us. That Bible stuff they gave to destroy our religion. Everything. Now, look at what that religion has done to us. Look at the so many religious wars in Africa. Muslims, Christians, fighting one another. I mean, see how many people die. Every race, every culture, every country, every race have their own cultural beliefs. They have their own kind of religion. They believe in only the black man. That is a black man's crime. And we cry foul, pointing fingers here and there. We are the problem. The black men. We are our problem before other races are. Look at what Africa is. Look at your own community. Even when, if a black man were to set up a business, or even those who set up businesses, would prefer to patronize the businesses of the foreign people, the foreigners, when your brother's business is there. We only import. We prefer mostly to consume theirs. We can't produce ours. Even when we produce ours, we don't consume ours. How funny it is. That is a crime of the black man against himself. What are we really doing to ourselves? What is it that is wrong with us? Look at Africa. With all the resources, the minerals, we have everything. That we should develop our country, give our people employment. Go send our children to study technology, come back and open industries. We have employment for our people to improve their standard of living, to live well. But see what happened. The resources benefiting other people. They have connected pipes under your building. The resources are found under your building. But you connect pipes. They are going to other people's country. And see how they're developing. See how they're developing. Those old railways they constructed so you can transport the resources to them. What is wrong with the black man? Sometimes I don't know whether we even think. I don't know. You keep borrowing African leaders. You keep borrowing from one generation to another, from one decade to another. When are you going to finish paying all these debts? Not sooner or later. Sooner or later, we would have mortgaged our country. We would have mortgaged that continent. Look at our icons. When they stand up and speak to us, when they tell us what we should do, we instead hate them. Thomas Sankara, look at Kwame Nkrumah, formed the United States of Africa. Imagine that we were to have a United States of Africa so that other countries could now be provinces or could be states. Imagine that we were to have a central bank with a central currency, one currency, like Gaddafi proposed. Imagine we were to do that. Imagine the benefit to the African people, to that continent, to the black people in general. Once the image of Africa is improved, in fact, it will uplift black people all around the world. So black people around the world, listen to me, listen. We have to start loving ourselves. Do we listen to Minister Farrakhan? Minister Farrakhan, the only man standing right now. Sometimes some of our brothers and sisters even mock at him that he has been saying the same thing every day, all the time, what has changed? How can he change when you are yourself the one fighting him? Minister Farrakhan says, he tells us, we have all this problem. We know what the problem is, but we lack the courage to deal with this problem, to overcome this problem. Passing the legacy of cowardice to one generation to another. And we're surprised why the world treats us this way. I mean, what is wrong with us, black people? What is wrong with us? That is the black man's crime. That is the crime of the black man. And these are the crimes of the black man against ourselves. We would hate our brothers when our brother progresses, when our sisters progresses. We'll be the first people to be jealous of them, hating ourselves. Hey, black people, what is wrong with us? I don't understand. Sometimes I don't know whether it's a curse. Sometimes I want to blame God. God, you say you created people equal. You created all races equal. Why do you make some people like this? You make black people physically very strong, but psychologically, I don't know, very weak. See every race. See how they insult you everywhere. Your leaders, they go borrowing money all the time, mortgaging your country. We use foreign currencies in our countries, back home. Use foreign currencies. Keep borrowing. And when you borrow, you take bad images showing that because you want to borrow money. I want to go develop this infrastructure. I want to develop the roads. I want to develop hospitals. We lack all these things. Where do you keep all this money? Steal the money again. These very people, steal the black man, steals this very money and keep abroad. The money generate interest for the benefit of those people. Giving employment to them while your children are suffering poverty. You know the work of poverty? When people are idle, there's no job. Poverty, when it's too much, look at what happens. As it's often said, the devil finds work for an idle hand. Your children, when they're idle, they're watching pornography, they're planning how to go and steal pickpocket. Some join terrorist groups. And then that's what we have. Look at Africa. Look at you don't pity for yourself. The black man. That is a crime of the black man against himself. Look at the wars in almost all over Africa. Look at Mali. Mali is almost divided into two. Cote d'Ivoire is almost completely destroyed. Neo-colonialism. Africa, what is really wrong with us? Look at the Cameroons. Look at how the southern Cameroons, the massacre going on there. Genocide. The other African countries are watching. The UN, the AU. AU, what is really what are the things that you really do as the Organization of Africa? What is it? As the governing body of the African countries. Every year, what do you guys really think about? What do you meet when you meet? What do you decide? What do you say about what happens there? What do you achieve? Those are the things you should ask yourself. And these are the crimes against ourselves. We blame other people. That cannot be. We cannot keep blaming other people when we are the ones shooting ourselves in the leg. We keep shooting each other in the leg. When somebody stands up to say, he's even defending you, and you hate him for that. The black man, somehow I think we deserve what we go through because we refuse to use our brains. Physically, very strong. But here, see what happens to us all around the world. A confused race. When people do like this, when people behave like this, what do you expect? What do you expect? You still teaching your children foreign curriculums. Foreign curriculums. They develop their own foreign curriculums there. They are developed countries. They bring the same curriculums and give it to you to apply on your own children. As if you don't have educators who cannot draw school curriculums for our children. Growing up with that mentality, that colonized mentality, that inferior mentality, inferior mentality. Growing up, you in your churches, you forgive and forget, like 70 times 70 a day. Is that wow? Forget what? Forgive and forget what? You don't ask yourself, where is AIDS from? Where is Ebola from? Where are all those diseases? Syphilis, gonorrhea. Where did those things come from? If they are natural, why are they only beginning mostly in most often time beginning only in your continent? And we see their own people apologizing publicly that they were forced to create AIDS, they were forced to create Ebola, they were forced to, and you are watching African leaders sometimes even with you, they even connive with you to have those tests tested on your own people. Have those diseases tested on your people. When they produce medication, they test it on your people. You're losing people all the time. And you are complaining. Man, for God's sake, the black man. That these are the crimes of the black man against himself. How long shall we go on this way? From one generation to another. We lack strong institutions. Strong institutions like the institution of law. Institutions of learning. Institutions of health. All this will lack them. You send your children abroad, spend millions, let them go and study there. What about the masses back home? You keep changing constitution, one constitution after another, because you want to stay in power for long, forever. You stay in power forever. Manipulate election, cheating election, killing people. When people stand up to protest, you kill them. Borrowing money, instead of developing the continent, you buy arms, preparing to kill people if they ever rise up. Making sure you keep your children there to take over after you leave. I mean, is it a democracy or is it kinship? And Africans are watching. Africans, what is wrong with us? What is wrong with us? If they were to come up with anything, people were even discussing something. It's us who will sell it out and a few people will be killed. Black man, this is our own crime. This is our own crime. And we will continue to suffer this until the day we realize that we need that unity. We lack it. Minister Farrakhan said we lack unity. That unity which we should decide as to whether to live. How many of you listen to Dr. Omar? How many of you listen to Minister Farrakhan? Until at the time when we will decide as to whether to take that courage and face the truth. Face the problems that we face. Face the problems that we face. Face the real enemy. Then we'll continue to live as slaves forever. Is that what we want, black people? Is that what we want? Why do we hate ourselves this much? Why? Why is it that when somebody stands up to speak for you, look at Nkrumah, look at Gaddafi. When Gaddafi stood When Gaddafi was being taken down, what did Nigeria, what did South Africa, what did the other African countries do? We either keep silent or we connive or we instead help the oppressors to kill our people. Look at Thomas Sankara. Food sufficiency, enough for his people. Stop driving these expensive cars. Provide enough medical facilities, enough food. Let the people eat. Let the people stay in health. Join me. Let's refuse paying these colonial taxes. Who listens to him? Black people. I don't know. And who sponsors the killing of Thomas Sankara? Us. Shame. It's really terrible.